Mailbag.
I've got baggage. Let's learn about it.
Let's check the baggage today.
What's my baggage today, guys?
What's my baggage? Okay, so
This is when we sit and answer some of your questions.
This is a good one. Okay, what is it? At Kathleen Cornbread with 2 Ds. At Kathleen Cornbread with 2 Ds says, do you wish the show went on for another season, or are you happy with how it ended? You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
No, give me the lie first.
Yeah.
No, you want me to give you the Disney Channel version?
No, just give me the lie.
Let me give you the
whatever
Disney.
it is.
Yeah, let me show you what the Disney Channel version to the answer of that question is. Well, we were really excited that we got greenlit for 3 wonderful seasons on Disney Channel, and I was just so blessed to work with so many amazing people. I think that Ren really grew with the time that we had, and really, I'm just I'm so glad that everything worked out for the best, because then I got to go to college.
That was such a mature,
Is that who I'm saying?
That's a great response. Good job.
Okay, now how do you really feel?
That's not the real response. Yeah. The real response is I think it was tied up too quickly. I think that I don't know if they had hoped for another season, but that last episode was not our best episode, guys.
No.
Like, granted, I understand.
Leaving Stevens?
Leaving Stevens felt rushed. It felt like maybe we thought there'd be another season or something, but I know that's not true. Yeah. Because we had the movie kind of being prepared and everything, because we went straight from that to the movie.
They were the writers. I remember Dennis and Tom were already, they lost a bet, and that's why they had to write the movie.
What?
I remember that. Like, there was like a big bet within the writers. I don't remember what it was, but they lost it, and that's the reason they had to write the movie.
Who? Which one? Tom?
Dennis and Tom.
Dennis and Tom.
Yeah, they lost the bet. I don't remember what it was. We weren't in the
we'll
loop
have to
with
ask
this.
them someday.
Yeah,
we got to ask him
that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that the movie was really like a great script, and I think it did do a service to, nodding to the ensemble family life that we had not really touched upon too much during the series.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of our most popular episodes, if you will. I mean, it wasn't an episode, but definitely one of the most watched.
It's also because it had the biggest budget to get out there.
Yeah,
we never did promotional.
If I think if they did more of that throughout the season, it would have had even a bigger impact.
It almost seems like the show wasn't really trying to get views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think like with other shows on Disney, like what we know now about social media, it's like you say certain things, you do certain things, you frame certain pictures a certain way so that people are like interested.
Clickbait.
Yeah, and think about it. It's just like kids. Kids are like, ooh, shiny toy, squirrel. And so with the kids watching the show, we didn't do it for the views. We didn't, we had like the musical episode is obviously what everybody remembers, which is strange to me. But we had like BB Mac, who was like a really big pop group at the time, on one episode. But other than that, like, we didn't really have a lot of like.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean, again, you had a channel that was just coming into existence. It had no following. It had no viewers. You had Disney behind it, but that was it. It was a brand new thing, and our show and Lizzie McGuire were the ones that really launched the channel. So
true.
They were definitely going after viewers. I think that. And we had more freedom than most shows on Disney had at that time. I think that what it really comes down to is that Disney has a formula. They had, and that formula is 65 episodes. You get done in 3. That's it.
That was the formula.
And very few shows ever go past that. Yeah. They definitely, I think they questioned whether or not even Stevens should have gone on for another year or 2. But they didn't do that until Raven. So Raven was the first show.
Impossible then too.
Yeah, so they started to do more of that, but in the beginning they were not going to kind of like break that rule for whatever reason they had. But I definitely know. Well, yeah, for sure. But they definitely had to question whether or not that was going to happen when it came to even Stevens. I personally, hell yes, I would have liked to get 2 more years out of that show.
Yeah.
I think it deserved it. it would have been awesome to work for another couple of years.
I mean, think about just how iconic the show is with 3 seasons. That's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah,
it is. And you guys more so than me, but you guys had 2 more years.
Yeah, I guess,
Meaning like
I did go to college right away.
Well, for sure, but I'm saying
But I didn't need to do
you wouldn't
that.
have gone to college right away.
Yeah.
What time? How old were you when the show ended?
18.
Okay. Well, maybe you were kind of, but I think between you and Shia,
But you had said
guys had
like
a couple
we could have
more
moved
years.
it up a little bit. What they did in the last year was they had me going to 9th grade, but one of the 9th grades that were housed in the middle school.
Yeah.
So that 9th grade, I guess, in some places in California actually starts in 10th grade. So it's like, wow, guys, we have to jump through a few hoops.
Well, and I think that's the thing too, though, is that if this was based in middle school and you going off into high school, what do? It's a whole nother world you got to create.
It really
now.
could have been one of those Stranger Things effects. You see the criticisms with Stranger Things. It's that, all these kids are supposed to be high school or middle school students now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're all supposed to be middle school students, but that's
no.
just it because, we had the pandemic and we couldn't shoot for 2 years.
Yeah.
All these kids grew up.
Didn't they age it forward too, though?
I don't know if they aged it for. Maybe they did. I don't know. But either way,
There's some criticism there.
there's definitely some criticism there. And,
Kids should just not grow.
Yeah.
That's the solution to this.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the problem, right?
I think they tried that with
they
Michael
can't
Jackson.
all be Stephen Anthony Lawrence.
Yeah. exactly.
I think Michael Jackson's dad tried that with him, and that didn't turn out too well.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So,
Yeah.
but no, I really feel like we could have done like something like Boy Meets World had, where they did the 3 seasons.
You mentioned that too, right, Nick?
And,
if they aged it up. Wait, what did they do?
How they had it in middle school, and then they had it in high school, and then they moved it to college.
Oh yeah.
During the ABC Family years. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So-
I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I felt a little gypped. I never got to mess with Principal Wexler.
Aw.
We definitely could have moved Beans to Lawrence
I've been
Junior
noticing
High.
that there's been more spin-offs lately of things. It seems like in the younger space, maybe because there's not a lot of innovation.
Well, I think
But-
that's
What you're saying? There's no new ideas in Hollywood.
that was the
Not
thing
recently.
that I think maybe hurt the possibility of the show going past 3 years more than anything else is the fact that you guys were in this certain demographic, this certain age.
So we aged out.
You just aged out.
Yeah, I think that's,
You're
I think
too old.
that's the
If-
answer
now,
to Kathleen's
if
question.
they made it more about the family, like even though it was about the
Like the
Stevens
movie.
family,
Yeah.
exactly. If it
Yeah.
were more about the movie, it doesn't matter what age we are or whether
they
you're in high
really
school.
leaned into the
Like
lovey-dovey
that
stuff with
movie
me.
was great. There was so much possibility because of that they could have kind of continued with, and they just that wasn't their thing. But even the one thing I always said too after that show is, even with Shia, like so much opportunity to build off of his career and continue to work with him in a way for at least a couple more years, and they did do some work with him.
Yeah.
He did Holes.
Oh yeah, True
did-
Confessions was really
he
good.
That was
did a
great.
few things, but that's not Disney's strong suit. They don't work with those early 20s type.
Well, that's
players.
remember what I said about ABC Family? I feel like that they dropped the ball in that time with us. Like
Yeah.
they did not take us and say, "Oh, these elements were really working, and we're a really new they were really new ABC Family." And so it was like it was a little bit of a disappointment, but moving on.
It's a tween market. That's
Mm-hmm.
what Disney's focused on. But I still think you didn't answer that question. Well, yes, you did. You would have loved this to continue.
Yeah,
on.
man,
I think a Beans spinoff would have actually been appropriate, and then it could have been the
actually,
crazy world of Beans.
They could have. Yeah.
It would have been great, with Beans and Lawrence Junior
And your
High.
alien parents, which would have fit perfectly into everything else they did.
Dude,
because
why
after
didn't Matt
our
do that
shows,
for you or
the
something?
whole thing turned into like weird sci-fi witches and like magic kind
Big
of crap.
worlds.
Yeah, they
big
could
have.
world.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving on
Yep,
to
your
the
turn.
next question. What beans are Beans' favorites?
I know my favorite
Who's
Beans.
asking this?
Ooh. Oh, who's asking this? Rachel
McMillan.
underscore McMillan. What's up,
Hey,
Rachel? Oh, my favorite beans. I'm gonna go jelly beans.
Oh,
Yeah, because there
very
isn't just one
nice.
type of jelly bean. There's
Oh my God, so many.
millions. They even got the Harry Potter ones that taste like earwax.
Oh my God, do you
Don't-
remember
yeah,
when
don't
you
do it.
had to do the spicy bean challenge on
Oh
my
my
YouTube
god!
channel? Guys, if you haven't, okay, guys, you have to know this.
Okay.
This is a great story for our mailbag Q&A episode here. So I've bugged all of you.
What?
I've bugged all of you. to like help me out throughout the years with my content. And Nick has come and made like healthy wings and stuff. And you and I don't think we cooked together.
Yep, we did.
What?
We made beans. We made beans.
We made pork and beans.
We made pork and
Oh
beans.
my God.
Okay,
Well, that
everybody
makes
calm
perfect
down.
sense.
Yeah.
But then what
Wow.
happened was I did some of this fun, crazy, like Mr. Beast type fundraising content that was like, it was not. But for some reason, we raised a bunch of money to do it and helped a lot of people with like the game show. But like, it just wasn't, nobody was interested in watching it, which was really kind of a bummer. Anyway, he was one of my special guests in the contest. And I was like, we've got Stephen Anthony Lawrence, AKA Beans, here. And he's going to do the spicy bean challenge, which was spicy ass jelly beans,
It was
right?
spicy as hell, but I started choking on this shit. Because, you know,
He had a big thing of milk.
yeah, I had to like chew all these jelly beans, and it's like gelatin, right? So I think
Oh, it was how many beans you could eat.
yeah, how many
challenge.
beans you could eat challenge.
my
So the,
God.
Dude,
the
it was
contestant,
gnarly.
God, I forget
they were
the
all
girl's
spicy?
name. Yeah, they were all spicy, but I forget the girl's name. She did it right.
Spicy jelly
Yeah,
beans.
where she ate like one at a time and
She, like, swallowed them, yeah.
one at a time. So I was doing just
I
like,
feel like her stomach is not going to thank her after.
Oh,
that,
probably
though.
not.
We did shoot it in Texas, so she might have had a Texas tummy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Oh,
she
yeah.
was like, it's a bean. I
That's
don't care.
cast iron stomach.
Pepto-Bismol and Dr. Pepper.
You
all do the
literally
Rick.
threw up. Do you
Oh
remember that?
yeah, I literally
Oh,
yacked
wow.
because I couldn't swallow it all because I was doing like handfuls.
He was truly trying to win. He
Yeah.
didn't have to. We wanted to give her the money.
Yeah, I know. I'm just too
But he
competitive.
really, he was so competitive, man.
I mean,
it was how many
insanely
spicy
competitive.
jelly
Were they
beans you could
actually
eat.
spicy?
No, they weren't. They were spicy, but they weren't crazy.
So you just
spicy.
threw up from trying to eat too much.
Because it's like jelly, you know, it's like gelatin jelly
yeah.
beans, so you can't swallow
And you were chewing
all of
them.
that shit. Yeah, so I'm like trying to.
Oh my God.
Man,
acting
this
like
sounds dangerous though.
like a
Like I
cow
feel like,
in
I
his
feel like someone
cud.
could
Was.
choke on a
And
jelly
this
bean.
is the YouTube
Wouldn't that
shit
be-
that people do.
And
Like,
didn't Ronald? Yeah, God, that would have been a really bad way for beans to go out. Death by bean.
Beans, yeah.
Christy
Beans-
killed bean by bean.
I
Beans
can
got
see the
killed by
headlines.
beans. By bean.
Ren Stevens kills beans.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
By making him eat too many jelly beans,
Now, that
spicy
would've-
jelly beans.
God, you know, if I was gonna go out, Christy, I mean,
Oh, God,
it would
no.
help the show.
Death by
So-
beans.
You're like,
Talk
if I
about
could be of
ratings.
service to you, oh,
Yeah.
you're so sweet. But for real, I was like really upset. I was disturbed for like days after because he was so sweet to fly in and help me with this content in particular. And I felt, you can see in the video.
Well, you
have to
did
show you
pay
the
me,
video.
Christy. Come on. Yeah.
I mean, gently. I wouldn't say
Now,
like a lot.
I really do want to see this. I think I think we need to post it up
I was
on
there
our.
and I was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like freaking out the whole time. It was very uncomfortable because that's just not me. But he was such a good sport about it. So I'm surprised that you even say jelly beans without throwing up your
All
mouth.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I know what kind of beans I like. I like the ones with brown sugar. I like maple.
baked
yeah,
baked
baked
beans.
beans,
Baked
yeah.
beans.
Yeah, baked beans. They come in the gold can. I forget if they're Bush or whatever they are, but like
Yeah.
very much
Bush.
like them.
Well,
Very
it's funny
much.
because I have a bushed baked beans story. They had a like a line or a special product that came out for a little while called Sweet Heat. And I do a couple camping trips a year, and I had a group of friends going, and we were all picking a bunch of stuff that we're gonna like share together on this camping trip. And I was determined to bring some Sweet Heat beans. 'Cause it just sounded like the kind of thing you want to roast up at the end of the day, put on
At
a
the campfire.
at the campfire.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any of that, man." I'm like, "Yeah, you will. Trust me." So I got this like 6-pack of Sweet Heat beans, and no one would eat
Is
it.
this the brand, sweetie?
It was Bush Sweet
Okay,
Heat,
okay.
and you can't find them anymore. But it's kind of like an inside joke with us now because no one wanted to eat it when I baked it, and so I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to eat this shit myself.
Yeah.
So I ate the Sweet Heat beans, and I had gas for the entire trip. I could not stop farting from those Sweet Heat beans, and so no one wanted to be around me. And the joke was, do not let him buy any Sweet Heat beans. No Sweet Heat beans.
Oh no, sweetie.
If you eat beans with Nick, you might be entitled to financial compensation.
Yeah,
If you've gone
exactly.
camping with Nick at a
Wow.
truck stop.
Yeah, I do not recommend the Sweet Heat beans, but my bean would be, I like all types of beans. You know wax beans?
No.
No.
Wax beans?
I don't
Like,
even know wax beans, and I'm.
my mom used to
Yeah.
make this,
He's Father Bean.
my
I'm
mom
Father
makes
Bean.
this like 3-bean salad, and it's kidney
Oh.
beans, wax beans, and green beans.
Okay.
Actually, and it's 4-bean.
It's a cornucopia of beans.
It's a cornucopia of beans.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that my favorite bean is probably garbanzo beans.
I love. Oh, wait.
Not because
Wait.
of how.
Lupini beans. Have you had a lupini bean?
No.
They're very Italian.
Are they?
Yeah, they're lupini beans, and what you do is you
Are
slice
they the big
your
white
finger.
ones?
Yeah, they're like the
Yeah,
big white ones.
yeah,
You slice
yeah.
them with your finger and you pop them in your mouth, kind of
Yeah.
like edamame. So good.
No, I like garbanzo beans just because they're so diverse. Like, obviously, hummus comes from garbanzo beans. And if you ever want to make like a very simple pasta dish, my dad would make this from time to time. You just get some garlic, garbanzo beans, olive oil, throw it in a pan, warm that shit up, throw it on some pasta, and it's like the perfect little dish. Yeah,
I can see that.
Garbanzos
Yeah.
are a good
Garbanzo.
bean. A good bean to
Hey,
have.
my cousin, his name's Tony Garbanzo.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We got another one here.
Your turn.
That
That was a random but very fun question.
That was a good
Thank
question.
you
Yeah.
very much, Kathleen.
Okay, so
Was it
Zach
Kathleen?
Hill.
Rachel. Rachel.
sorry.
Thank you, Rachel.
At Zach Hill, his question is, did you actually watch the show when it was on?
I like this one.
Honestly, I was a Lizzie fan.
Shut the fuck up.
Get
Get the fuck out of here.
So good.
I'm kicked off the podcast.
Would it be weird if
like
I said
stuff.
I was a Lizzie fan?
Yes, because okay.
I actually met her sister Haley once.
I first of all, I fucking love Haley Duff.
Yeah.
Haley Duff lives in Austin. You know that, right?
No, but
She's like my fucking neighbor.
I had that tanning salon for a while.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I had a tanning business.
Yeah.
Solar powered tanning and spa business was one of my first ventures
I
after
got
the show.
my. Do you remember?
Yeah, spray tan.
No, for my wedding.
Oh, what happened? I don't remember.
Okay,
Did wait?
call
Did
makeup.
Lauren spray you?
Yeah, the cute girl that you liked.
Yeah, the
Was
one
it the Mormon one?
No. I dated her though.
Yeah. She was cute. You
Yeah,
like
she's
that
super
cutie.
cute. She's super cute.
Listen. I call him up. I'm like, because we were working together for a little bit, like a little bit, and it was like I knew he had this really awesome tanning salon and whatever. So I was, getting married, and I didn't even know if you still had it, and I don't even know, maybe you did like just recently sell it or something,
Yeah, I can't
or you were in the
remember.
process of
I sold
selling
it in
it.
2014 or 15.
Right, we were just about getting married,
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
like right at that time. You're like, oh, I'm not even really there anymore. He was like,
Yeah.
but you know what? He's like, go ahead and get a spray tan on me, and I was like, oh my God, you're so nice. Thank you so much. And I got a spray tan from his salon for my wedding.
Yeah. Well, we had Haley Duff come through. We had Miley Cyrus and her mom would come through all the time.
That's so random.
I know it was the weirdest
Oh,
thing,
tell 'em
but it became the spot.
It's solar powered tanning salon.
Yeah. Solar tower
In California.
The
How
first,
How come I
the
never
first
went, Nick? I
solar-
never got an offer to come
That's
get
like
tanned
selling
Yeah.
like bubble gum at the Lockjaw Ward. Like
Yeah, and who else? Oh, we had Snooki come in.
it's
Snooki
crazy.
came
You didn't
Oh,
have
dude.
Snooki. Did
She
you
didn't-
really have a tanning salon?
She'd have kept
Oh,
you in
man.
diamonds and furs
I've done some
forever.
weird things, guys. I've done some weird businesses just for the hell of
That's
it. But
really
yeah,
cool.
but yeah, Miley Cyrus and her mom. I forget her mom's name.
Were you there?
But not always, but I was there
When
from
they
time to
happened
time.
to come
Well, I was given. It was so funny. Miley came in with her mom once, and I would talk to her mom a lot because Miley was like a kid.
Her mom's hot.
Her mom's cute, and I was giving her mom a massage.
Bet you were.
This might sound weird, and it is. But I was giving her mom a massage in the lobby once, and Miley was sitting there watching, and she's like, "That's gross," and she's like, "I want one." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not gonna happen." I mean, I would now, but that wasn't gonna happen.
Hilarious. Oh my
So
gosh.
You're gonna
what a
break her-
small
that's my little
weird
name
world.
dropping.
You're gonna break her achy breaky
But
heart.
Haley went to your,
Haley, yeah, and
did she
actually,
go consistently?
she was a customer or client for a while. We had so many; it was wild.
Yeah, well, you had
the
really
girl-
good real estate. That's what he does
great real
well.
estate. The gal who was the girl from American Beauty?
Your mom?
My mom?
It's a joke. I do this
That's
with my husband
terrible.
all the time. I'm gonna start
No,
throwing
Meg
your mom
Ryan.
jokes.
American? No, it was not Meg
No,
Ryan.
it was
No.
Mila Kunis.
Mila-
Not Mila
No,
Kunis.
it was
What's
not.
the other one? No.
Yes, it was. Well,
No, it
was
wasn't
not.
Sorvino.
No,
it was the
not.
other one that's like Russian, but not
Yes,
Russian.
the one who has the roses
Not
drop,
Mila Kunis.
the rose petals on her body.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
She used to come in. Actually, Mila Kunis did come in.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a crazy roster of people that came through
That's
that spot.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I think of all the businesses I've known you to have, that was seemingly very, very, like you could have kept doing that.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing that I learned most about doing that business, and it's the best advice I could give anybody that wants to venture off into something, is if you don't like talking about it, you shouldn't be doing it. That's what I learned. And I did not care to talk about tanning
And you
ever.
know, he was so sweet. I remember we were talking about my interests because we were doing the acting class thing, and it was we knew that it was something that was temporary, but we were trying to grow it. And then we talked about how I really wanted to open up a spa, and he was like, well, why don't you start small? You could do a nail salon right next to my tanning salon.
I actually thought about doing. Yeah,
do you remember that? You were like, because he goes, because
trying to turn into
he
it.
goes, nail salons are actually really, they generate pretty consistent business, and like we don't have a nail salon in this strip mall yet. And he started to get me thinking about that. But yeah, you're a very smart businessman.
Well, no, I was. Hey, I'm learning as I go through it. But yeah, that's the most important takeaway from that is if you don't like talking about it, you shouldn't be doing it.
Do you follow like businessmen online? Do you like who are your financial mentors and stuff?
I honestly don't follow anybody. I feel like it's one of, I think my shortcomings actually is that I don't really, I like to read, but I'm not interested in kind of the hype or what's in vogue. I just kind of like to learn by doing. Trial by fire has always been my way.
That's truly though the entrepreneurial spirit when you think about it. It's like I don't want to compare myself to anybody. I just want to go.
Yeah, and I tried that when I started. I tried kind of like replicating a model that I thought would do what I wanted to do, which is create, passive income. And there's models that work, and so you can kind of replicate those. But it's ultimately unexciting, and there's not a lot of passion behind it.
Okay.
And now it's about what can you create that is like truly, authentically you.
Okay.
And find some joy doing that.
Until you have kids, and then you're like, I will
and
sell out for the highest bidder.
Exactly. Well, that's why you guys are all having kids before me, so I can just jump on your sellout train.
Steven's not. So I did watch the show when it was on, interestingly enough, but it was not as enjoyable as I feel like it probably was for everyone else, right? I think I was watching it and kind of stuck in the mindset of like, how are they branding our show? Is it getting a good time slot? I tried to get I was very competitive when I was watching it, and then I was always so critical of myself. Although I did watch a lot of the like cuts in Greg Hobson's office, who is our main editor, and I fell in love with editing. And now I've always been fairly decent at editing, but I'm not great at computers. But like I'm pretty good at editing, and I attribute that to sitting in, the cutting room floor with Greg a lot of times just to kind of vainly watch myself. But he just watching an editor work, especially as a young person, is really fascinating.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I really enjoyed being in the editing room a lot of times.
Well, you get an appreciation for, I think that's one of the things an actor can always benefit from is when you realize that so much happens before you ever even step foot on a set. And all that happens after you're done filming, there's so much more work involved.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just a tiny, tiny little piece of that puzzle. An important piece, but you're just a tiny piece of it.
You know what I used to love is watching dailies. The day after.
Dailies.
You remember the
dailies?
dailies?
We watched dailies.
Yeah.
They used to watch dailies
Yeah.
in our craft service room. Do you remember that? They would wheel in a TV and they'd have the tapes.
The
that
table
they would
read
burn
room.
To.
Yeah, we would eat in the table read room.
I was never invited.
For our listeners, the dailies are kind of like just the rough takes from the day. And you get
Were
to
they
watch.
daily or like a couple times a week?
No, they were dailies.
I feel like they became weeklies.
Yeah, you get
yeah.
to watch what has been shot throughout the day. Just to kind of play back your performances.
But the EPs are the ones that are watching it because I think they're trying to make sure that the notes are taken from a lot of notes from the network.
Well, and they definitely don't want the actor. I mean, you might be able to watch it as an actor, but they don't really want the bunch of actors sitting there watching the dailies.
It's not your
every day.
business.
It was so
it's not for
interesting
you.
though, being a fly on the wall and just hearing what they were saying. Because
they're brutal, dude.
a lot of the times they'd forget that you're in the
room, and they were brutal.
Yeah, and it's brutal.
Dude, the dailies were
God,
brutal.
Donnie sucks.
They'd be like, "Why the fuck did he do that?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. There he goes again.
Yeah,
It's like they were really, they were harsh.
Yeah.
But that's the only way you're gonna learn. You're not gonna learn from someone buttering you up. A lot of
Fair
times.
Fair enough, man.
I never watched the show back then.
Did you even have Disney Channel because it wasn't like an accessible channel?
No,
to
I
have.
definitely didn't have.
Yeah,
Disney
I remember
Channel.
we had to buy it at our cable station.
Yeah, I didn't
just to
have
be able
Disney
to see our
Channel.
shows.
In general, I was kind of like, I just did not like to watch too much television. I was anti-television, so I didn't really watch it. I would see it from time to time. Either I'd go home to my parents' house and would happen to catch it there. And it's always fun when you accidentally catch the show.
Oh, because it was on for your nephews and nieces.
Yeah,
And
like that was
they watched you?
That was fun to experience it that way. But I try to make a point never to watch it. But and ever since then, I don't think I've ever sat down and like watched the episode.
I really think you said something super interesting there that a lot of people I don't think really understand that aren't really in the entertainment business. You know, you said you're not really into television, even though you were a television actor for like the longest time, right? Isn't that what do you think that's just like taking your homework with you? Or what is it, man?
It is an interesting disadvantage, I think, in some cases, because there are some acting schools out there, acting teachers out there that think it's really important that you watch what's on air, what's on TV,
right?
So that you get an idea of the style of comedy that's popular right now. Know who's working on what shows, kind of like what the tone of certain shows are. Like that is part of your homework. If you're going out and you're auditioning for this stuff, you want to know what they're doing, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, I have a great Raven story. So Raven Symoné, which I guess is Symoné, that I saw her recently post on.
Yeah,
it's actually spelled Symoné. She did a whole thing on TikTok about it. She's like,
funny.
I guess if it's...
I've always just called her Raven Symoné.
Oh, because the line on the E.
Yeah,
It is
She's
like, if I was
right.
French, it would be Symoné, but I just go by Simone in America. Anyway, so I remember one of our few moments together was in the Circle of Life video. And she was such an artistic killer. I mean, she struck me as just such a businesswoman. And I think she's younger than I am, right? So it was like, I showed up to Circle of Life, which was our little song we did with like a bunch of different Disney actors. And we all ended up, it's like that Vanity Fair thing where they get all the actors together and then like, chaos ensues and they take pictures. But for us, it was like a music video, and we had to act like we all knew each other. We all loved each other. And so we're sitting there, and we're all kind of like behind the scenes. Apparently, like, I don't know, I talked to Annalisa about this on my podcast, but I flashed the girls. And it was a very much of a girl time. And then Raven says to me, she's like, well, so like...
What do you mean you flashed the girls?
Like you know what I mean? Like that happened.
What do you mean? Like
I exposed myself to Raven.
Christy,
your boobs?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something that happened about the boobs because we talked about the boobs. So
what do we talk about
my
the boobs
Disney
about?
Channel ears.
Listen. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're trying to help our listeners understand what you were doing.
We talked about this already.
What was her face like? Was she happy?
Apparently,
was she
Annalise
surprised?
said that she remembered this for like many, many years
God.
because she wasn't out yet. But I was just like, oh yeah, this is like something that I just did. Like, what do you think, or something like that. Anyway, look, let's move on. I don't want to like dwell.
Well, I don't know. I think our male viewers are actually.
I don't give a fuck
in
about
this.
our male viewers. And you guys keep your dick in your pants.
Wow.
So listen. So basically, and you know what? I walked into that. I did that to myself. I'm going to take accountability for that. And I hope y'all enjoyed that at home. But listen, so Raven was like, oh, so like, what do you want to do? Right? Like, I was like, well, I think I want to do CW. Or she asked me, well, do you watch this show? Do you watch that show? This is coming back to something, I promise. And I was like, well, no, I don't really watch TV. She looked at me dead ass in the face. She was like, well, how the hell do you think you're going to keep working in this business if you don't watch TV?
Raven said that.
Yeah. But she said it like she was trying to help me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she was like being so honest. And I was like not used to that.
Yeah.
Like we didn't talk like that on Even Stevens, right?
Mhm.
Like, we
Yeah.
were all just like
Very
chaos and funny and slapstick.
pleasantries. Yeah.
But she like dead on looked at me and she was like, what are you thinking? She was like, you need to get on that.
Yeah,
Shook me to the core to this day.
Yeah, there was a period of time where she broke up with her girlfriend and needed to move out of her place, and she lived in my property. I have a building here in LA, and she lived there for a year, and it was really fun to like have her there and like just hang out once in a while and have
How did
her
you
like
guys
a little
meet?
fan. I forget how we first connected, but she's like a little sister to me, and we've always had that kind of relationship from the time that we met. And I can't recall.
She's actually very like spiritual and artistic, and it seems
she's-
like she's got a lot.
She's amazing. She's come
like
to a lot of
twin
the
flame to you.
she's come to a lot of the like art events that I've done in the past, and anyway, it's been very cool. But seen her grow up a lot.
This is so
throughout-
strange to me.
throughout her
I'm
life.
like, wait, you're
Yeah.
my brother, not Raven's brother.
Yeah. But
I love her.
what was I talking about with that? So what was cool was there was a period of time where I think we worked together. Like she helped me work on an audition or on a scene or something, or I read with her on something that she was studying, and she was helping me on some material, and just being like, we've all helped friends that are auditioning for something, and you're just, you try to give them a little something, but it's not really about you. You're just reading the other, the other part for them.
You're just looking down.
Yeah, you're just reading your material for them. Even in her casual read of, whatever the other role was to help me with my audition is so good. She's so good. Every beat is so good. Just the way, keep in mind, this girl's been doing it since she was like 2 years old.
She had a wonderful interview recently where she was talking about dissociating and how she's got the same thing like you and I have, Stephen, where it's like, we were so young that we don't remember so much.
Yeah.
Although you seem to remember a lot.
I have that male remembrance. I remember what I want to remember.
Okay, good. Well, I wish I could activate
selective memory.
I wish I could activate that. All right, so...
But it sucks. I never really got that close with Raven. I worked with her on a whole episode, and we maybe talked once, twice.
Well, but it's also just a
That,
different time. Like, I can't recall how we first met, but she was young, and you're younger than her, so it's just a different experience. I think.
Yeah, and I mean, we were in very different shows. I was on my way out, and she was very much like Raven was like in its heyday.
She took off, and I think this is before. Actually, I can't recall when this happened, but I think it was before That's So Raven. She went off to art school for a while.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she went off to art school. She went to Europe for a while, and she went to art school and completely left the industry for a while. But that was when she was really kind of coming into her own identity and kind of really kind of claiming who she is. And she needed that break from the business to do that. I mean, her whole life has been in this business. Yeah. And there's that fear of, you don't want to change too much. You don't want to rock the boat too much, like for any of us, and
how do you find yourself while also not, that's
well,
really hard,
or how do you find yourself when everyone else is trying to keep you from changing?
Yeah.
And
you have to wait it out until people are ready. It's almost like you're ready enough to claim it. And then so this is interesting. My husband strikes me as the kind of person who was popular in high school, right? You've all met him.
Yeah.
He seems like,
I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
Captain America.
Yeah.
And like, I remember dating him initially and being like, you were fucking popular in high school, weren't you? I fucking wasn't. I was the nerdy girl that was really insecure and just like the theater kid. And I just always felt like a misfit and I was bullied a lot. And so I was like, so how do you, guys, mind you, I think I had a kid with this guy already. Like, we're in our 30s, and I look at him, I'm like, so how do you be popular? I shit you not. I was like, so how do you do it? Like, why are kids popular and why are they not?
Oh man.
He's like, I never cared.
And it would be so different.
I genuinely never
and that's
cared.
definitely one of the keys. But if you really don't care, then popular isn't really something you even pay attention to.
No, he's the kind of person that really loves people.
Yeah.
And I think of the same way of you. It's like being popular is not the goal.
Yeah.
And the more you chase that, and I say popularity in this sense of the masses enjoying your brand, right? Taking you in and having influence, which these days actually equates to actual work in the industry. And so it's like, well, what's that X factor, that those popular people seem to have? And it's like, you don't chase it.
Well, I think it goes back to the same thing with the business talk we were having. It's when you're not trying to be somebody else.
And you're just so, and you're yourself.
And that takes a little bit of risk, and it takes a little bit of part of the reason why in this business it's so hard to change is because even if you're not the same person or you're ready for change, you're so afraid of changing.
Because of what other people are going to think
Well,
of
just
you?
because you think that the opportunities will dry up. And you know what? The reality is they might at that time. But who fucking cares?
But then new opportunities
exactly.
will present themselves.
It's about you going through the transformations you need to be the best person you can be, and you're going to create those new opportunities for yourself.
Man, we grew up thinking about the secret and this manifestation in a way that wasn't like that. I think people like myself, I'm not going to group you in with me,
Thank
Steven.
you, Christy.
Yeah. But my struggle was in with magical thinking I could trick the system and just like, if I just changed my hair color, if I just did this, if I just did that. And it's like, no, like there's actually quite a lot I would have probably gone back to change to investigate how I could have been more in love with myself than.
Well, there's just, I mean, change is normal. I mean, who I am today is going to be different than who I am tomorrow versus who I am yesterday. I mean, that's one thing I never want to be. If you're the same person you are at 30 than you are at 20, something is fucked up.
It's just, I mean, good luck if that happens, because that's you got some magic shit going on.
You got some. No, you got your. I think they call that. There's a term for that. It's called a man-child.
Well, no, but there's no way to stay the same. Is the point? So it's like there's no, that even if you think you are, it's not the reality.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It's the change of life.
Did you watch the show? You definitely watched the show.
I didn't. Well, I threw tomatoes at it when we.
You definitely watched.
No,
the show.
I honestly, I really didn't.
Did you guys have Disney Channel in your house?
Yeah, no, we weren't. Yeah, no, we had Disney Channel. Yeah, we had Disney Channel. It's just that wasn't really my thing. I was really more into like horror stuff.
Did you ever?
Horror guy.
Did you ever like try to like invite people over and have them watch the show with you?
Be like, oops, that's me.
No,
it's on me on the TV.
Even then, I was so self-conscious about watching myself.
Self-conscious.
Hated watching myself because you're the worst critic ever. Mm-hmm. Even though you read the comments, the worst critic is always going to be yourself. Period. So watching this stuff, it's like going down a rabbit hole. Oh, I wish I could have done that take, or why the fuck didn't the editor?
Why did they take the other?
Yeah, why didn't they pick that other take? Oh man, I wish I could have used a different imagery, or I wish I would have used a different synth stress, or sent this action or that, and it's like it reminds me of like an audition. One trick I have for auditions is you do your audition, and then as soon as I'm out of sight of the casting director or whoever, I look for the nearest trash can. And I throw that fucking sides right in the trash can.
No, you do that too?
Yeah,
that's the only way.
I'm very superstitious, and I think if I do throw them away, that means that I'm superstitious.
I get that.
No, I used to be.
Yeah.
I
just sacrifice a Nickelodeon actor after every audition, but that's me.
I think we have time for one more, you guys.
Okay, cool.
And this is a good one. Since we're talking about life lessons, we have one here from Erin Leary. And it says, what's one lesson your job has taught you that you think everyone should learn?
These are very good questions, guys. Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Alcohol is the cure to every answer?
Absolutely. There you go.
Oh, that's one thing my job taught me.
Wow. That's one you really have to study in life.
Yeah, let's see here.
Really have to practice that one. Actually, I think it's the humiliating lesson that Matt Dearborn taught me, which is it's not all about you. And I think that's kind of an important lesson to learn no matter what you're doing, especially in this business, is that it's not all about you. And the less it's about you, I think the better you're going to do at your job. And the more fun you're going to have while you're doing it.
There's a lot.
That was good, Nick.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for your contribution to the tone of this episode. All right.
Someone's got to be the straight one here.
You always said he was the punchline.
He is the punchline.
So he's serving it up.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
There's a lot of lessons that I could try to choose to try to pull from. Fuck, this is a hard one.
One lesson your job has taught you that you think
my job. So like, I have many jobs, right?
Yeah, but I think that keep in mind that we're talking about
Even Stevens,
the show. Yeah, this is
the job of
being an
Stevens.
actor.
I mean, you could choose whatever job I suppose you'd like to choose, but in terms of what we're doing here.
Okay. So humility, like you were just talking about, I think that humility when it came to my fans. And so like when I was actually exposed to the young kids who would come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, love you, whatever. I wasn't getting paparazzi'd or anything, but I really love, why would I not, right? But like, I love my fans. And so one thing I will say about Raven, one thing I'll say about even, Hillary and even Shia, we love our fans.
Yeah.
At least back then we did. And something that I would
Wait a minute. At least back then we did. No, what do you mean by that?
I don't know how Shia is with his fans now. Like
Okay, that's
people have accosted him and stuff.
Yeah,
from what
true.
I can, he's gotten into bar fights and stuff, and but
Yeah, I mean, the people have gotten kind of
when alcohol's involved,
well, for sure, and antagonistic. Like I think if you're a public figure, if you're someone that has a public persona, and people realize that they can push your buttons
Watch out.
and kind of goat you into shit.
especially
you better
guys.
be careful. Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
guys. Yeah,
People want to incite, something.
yeah, because like guys who aren't actors probably see actors as like punks.
Yeah.
I gotta think that's
for sure.
right.
No, well, there's definitely not all people, but I think that's also how you portray yourself. If you're someone who's out there acting like, a dick, and you're kind of being, you're setting yourself up
Dude,
to be
there's
called
this
out.
meme of Justin Bieber. He got like stuck in the hood or something. I mean, not the hood. That's actually derogatory. In an area that was probably rough. Okay, and so he got stuck in a rough area, and these guys made him do push-ups. And I don't know the backstory of everything. Some people are, he was in that area trying to buy drugs, and like, who the hell knows the backstory? But Justin Bieber was getting punked left and right by these guys, and they were making him like do all sorts of like push-ups and like some sort of I don't know. It was a very funny moment.
It's
I gotta see it before I say anything.
There was this one time I was shooting a film called Pizza My Heart down in New Orleans.
Shut up!
Yeah.
No!
Wow.
God damn it!
Oh, really? You guys have a movie you want to do called Pizza My Heart?
What happened?
I wanted to do a movie
Wow.
with the Lawrence brothers called Pizza My Heart.
No way. If you
Thanks, Nick, for crushing my dreams.
If you look it up, we already did one.
Whoa.
I don't care.
Yeah. Andy Wolk directed.
Who?
So we were in New Orleans. It was awesome.
Okay.
Chris, what's that guy's name? Chris, not Chris Pan. Chris,
North?
no,
Spinoff.
really pretty eyes. He was on Star Trek recently. Chris Pine was down there shooting a film at the same time. It was cool. Like we connected and played some cards together.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway, so I was in New Orleans doing this film and trying to stay true to my workout regimen. I was running every day, and I think it was the third ward, or I can't recall if they called them wards or not. But there was like this. I went running through this one neighborhood, and I was definitely kind of stood out as like a sore thumb running through this neighborhood.
Like the Ninth Ward. Yeah,
Something
it's
like
the
that.
wards. Yeah, the Ninth Ward is like kind of the Compton of...
Right next to the
whatever
levee,
it was.
Mm-hmm.
I was going on one of my runs, and I went running through this neighborhood, and like all of a sudden, like I noticed like a couple of kids came running up like next to me, like kind of like laughing, like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And like running and like and you're not you can't be shook. You have fun with it, and we started like racing each other, and it became this like funny little like almost testing each other, right? Seeing like who if you're nervous, if you're afraid, and it worked out fine. It was great. It ended up being
a human moment.
It was a human moment, and it was like, I'm not going to break. Like let's go, and everything was fine. But then I told someone later on where I was running, and they're like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
That's not smart. That's not."
Donnie, get out.
But this is that Justin Bieber moment where if you get challenged, you got to show that you're up for the challenge, and then you're not afraid of it. So
Humility is key, man. I think that's the takeaway here with this answer.
If you're arrogant and a dick, you're gonna get challenged big time.
Karma, especially when you're a public person, will hit you in the ass
absolutely.
so much harder and faster.
What about you, Beansy?
Yeah, and then we got to wrap it
What
up.
lesson did you learn? Well, we got to find out what lesson.
Okay,
you learned.
honest lesson. What lesson? Honestly,
honest, yeah.
Honestly, just perseverance. Dedication, showing up every day, giving it your all. Yada yada yada. Put it on a bumper sticker. That type of shit.
Perseverance is not to be, I mean, that's important, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like perseverance when we were kids and trying to, especially with everything you had going on at home and stuff, like being able to like show up on set and enjoy yourself, that's perseverance and commitment.
Yeah, it's just being able to find different ways to enjoy yourself, because, you're going to fuck up a line here and there. That's just the name of the game, but being new ways to challenge yourself and find new ways. It's almost like you were saying, with like a stage show, you do it for 3 years, it almost becomes a little monotonous.
8 shows a week.
8 shows a week.
I never did anything for 3 years. That'd be
even Steven
shooting myself in the head.
Well, you just find new ways.
Oh, you mean
to,
the show,
the
not a stage show, though. Yeah.
Or like Belle, you find new ways to make it interesting, and that was definitely a challenge I loved about the show.
Well, that's the one thing that I do love about this business at that time in my life. You have to love getting rejected in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be down for it because you're going to get no a lot. And that's the one thing that kind of made me hungry for it, was walking into the room and getting no made me want to keep going at it until I got a fucking yes.
That was you.
Yeah. I loved it. It was like I wasn't going to be denied.
If I ever see Frank Oz, I'm still going to go take a dump on his lawn.
Who what?
Yoda. I was supposed to actually be
Yoda?
A part, yeah.
You were gonna be Yoda?
No. I was gonna
amazing.
be Danny DeVito's son, and then he went to go do Death to Smoochie, and Frank Oz got the directing role, and he wouldn't see any of Danny's choices.
Oh man.
So whenever I see Yoda, I become green with envy.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
Well, thank you guys. This was a fun mailbag episode, I think.
Mailbag. Thank you guys.
Fucking Yoda.
Keep sending us your questions.
Yeah. Unless you're Frank Oz.
Steven's gonna steam
Don't do
over
that.
here. Until next time.
Bye. Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Even More Stevens podcast. For clips from our pod, go ahead and check out the Podco YouTube channel. Links in the description.